Hi, my name is JC Nagerville, and I will be giving a presentation over social class patterns. Social class structure. What is social class? Social class is the difference between the economic status and your social class within other individuals of society. How much money you make, what part of town you live, and things that you're involved in. What are the social classes? There are upper class, middle class, working class, and lower class. What is socioeconomic status? A, socio, a social status is a person's standing or importance in relation to other people within a society. And to quote Dr. Schneider, is socioeconomic status is an economic and sociological combined total measure of a person's work experience and of individuals or families' economic and social position in relation to others, based upon their income, their education, and their occupation. Again, by Dr. Schneider. So, first we'll start with the upper class. Upper class makes an average median income of $350,000 a year. They are considered the economic elite. Now, this average median income will differ based upon the state you live in and most definitely the city that you live in. Upper class is going to be different in New York than it is in here in Clovis, New Mexico. And I inserted a little picture of this man playing croquet and smoking a cigar, a very high class, elite thing to do. And so this is an example of an upper class citizen. Next, we have a upper or upper middle class citizen. Their average median income is $100,000 to $350,000. They have the ability to make choices such as buying a new car or taking out another mortgage on their home or moving, sending their child to college. All those choices that are available, they have the ability to make them. They have financial security. They are not worried about where their next meal is coming from or whether or not the power bill is going to be turned off in the next week. Less wealth and prestige than the upper class, but a higher standard of living than the lower middle class, or the working class. So they do have a lot less wealth than the upper class, but they do have a higher standard of living when you compare it to the lower middle class. And here I inserted a family that it looks as if they just moved into a new home. So next is the working middle class. Their average median income is $30,000 to $50,000. They live in quite an uncertain world, living paycheck to paycheck. In research, it says that community and relationships with others are very important to the individuals that live within the working and middle class. They love to thrive off of community events, making relationships with others, such as their neighbors and the citizens in their town. And the working and middle class holds about a third of American households. And here I inserted a picture of a TV show that is popular today titled The Middle, which is about a family that lives in this social class. And finally, we have the lower class. The lower class has an average median income of $0 to $30,000. The income can actually be negative as well if they owe money on mortgages, payments, any money that they might owe definitely can be taken into consideration of a negative amount of money. There's subsidized housing, and oftentimes homeless and poverty is quite frequent within the lower class. And here I inserted a few pictures of families that live in the lower class or possibly right on the poverty line. Next, changes in the system. Social classes may change throughout your life. They oftentimes change between decades, but they can also change from year to year. This is such as an individual going from high school to college, or from college to being a postgrad, and postgrad to starting a family, being married. It'll change when you have children, and it will change when your children move out of the house. All of these things are definitely factors that can change and manipulate the social class that you stand in. Oftentimes, there's a myth that once you're born in a social class, you must remain in that social class, and that's definitely not true. You are able to work out of any class, work yourself into any class that you hope to be in one day. Next quote by Dr. Schneider is, people really need to understand that whatever's happening within their class ranking today is a part of a trajectory, part of their life. So this one part of your life almost is projecting what's to come. And so just because you're in lower class now does not mean you're going to be in the lower class 10 years from now. Even a few months from now, that social class can change. Next, the middle class citizen losing their job, placing them in a lower class system. Okay, so oftentimes families will be considered middle class or upper middle class, and one of the spouses will lose their job. Losing their job takes away half of the income that is being made. When you take away that amount of income, it automatically drops them down a different class. So now they're in the lower class, possibly under the poverty line, when in reality they're doing fine, they just lost a job. And so this is something that makes it seem as if they're in a different social class than they actually are. And the second example would be a law school student and their projected earnings. So as of now, they might be considered lower to middle class because of the amount of money that they make as a full-time student, only working part-time. But the amount of money that they will be making once they receive their law degree will initially base the class that they're in after. Finally, I posted some demographics to look at and the activities, and then what percentage of those activities the classes participate in. So I'll just go through these. College graduates, about 53% of the college graduates come from the upper class, 31 from middle, and 15 from the lower class. I also included individuals that are married and individuals that are homeowners. 57% of individuals are in the upper class that are married, 55% from middle, and then 35% from the lower end. And then homeowners. 68% of homeowners are upper class citizens, 65% are middle class citizens, and then 41% are low class citizens. And then I also included ages 65 and older and their social classes percentages, and younger than 30, and then the Hispanic percentages as well. And these are the references. Thank you so much for watching my presentation.